Could you tell us a little bit about how Supra oracles solve dispute resolution within such a short time frame? Imagine there are some oracle nodes that are giving malicious or incorrect data. There's some time needed for consensus and dispute resolution to take place. So how is that solved right now?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. And this is kind of complex to be straightforward. Now, number one is, we have two components that we have to keep our eye on. A 33% Byzantine threshold, right? So still these distributed computer 2f+1 limitations apply to us as well. And so that's on the node level. But what complicates it is also, though it's very rare, the data source can become Byzantine, either accidental or on purpose. So we have this complexity of both. We have to be resilient to both the data sources, like the exchanges and the data aggregators that we work with, as well as we have to make sure that the nodes themselves are not malfunctioning. We have to have resilience on both. So what we do is we solve it with effectively redundancy. So right now we have around 13 integrations across the major exchanges and some data aggregators like Pico and Coinmetrics and others. So very high reputation organizations, the most reputable exchanges in the world. And we're going to extend that out to around 21 data sources. Now, our calculation uses, let's just say 15 out of 21 data sources. So we have some fault tolerance on the data source level and also our nodes. We have this clan and tribe structure where our nodes, they independently form a committee, like a group of nodes. Those are called clans. And let's just say a clan is 13 nodes. We dispatch one clan to each of the data sources, and then they themselves also have a 2/3 majority requirement. But this means we can also tolerate up to 33% of the nodes crash with Byzantine. So to answer your question, we try to be resilient against that kind of contention in the first place. But if it does happen, what we do is we have to escalate. There's two modes of escalation. The first escalation is send more nodes, more clans to the data sources or engage the entire tribe, which is the larger committee. And then with more nodes engaged, you can get a more probabilistic understanding of what's actually happening and who is wrong and who is at fault. So that's one. So this is still in the algorithmic realm, right? And then two, though, if that cannot solve the situation in a more of a algorithmic mode, then the protocol has to freeze, right? It'll have to freeze, and then we have to engage basically human arbitration, right? Now, this is where a group like Kleros might come in. This is also where we would probably engage audit firms, right? And so that we can get a third-party objective opinion on who's at fault, because these can lead to splashing behaviors. Now, I just want to make this clear. You can imagine if we got 21 data sources and we send 13 nodes each, we are looking to engage hundreds of nodes for every lookup request. And our technology is such that it's really fast because we're doing parallel computation across these different clans, across different data sources at the same time. But we do engage a lot of nodes. So actually, compared to some of our competitors, we're talking about 4 to 10 times more nodes. So that is a strong factor in security vector. It's much, much harder to corrupt us. And yeah, the truth is unlikely. We cannot rule out that it is possible, very unlikely, not necessarily impossible, that we could reach a stalemate. And at that point, we may need to have human intervention. And that's where we're looking at possibly working with Kleros on this, because this might be like an objective way to determine who to slash, right? Because this is a very serious offense.